It's finally here.
Let's play football.
Well, it's finally here, the long-awaited Moss Ironworks update. This is the 17th major update added to Guts and Black Powder, and one of the biggest updates so far besides the London update. 2 new maps, new customization, new regiments. It's a lot in this update, baby. Now come, let me show you why the Moss Ironworks update is good, actually. But before we do any of that, let's first get to the main attraction of this entire update. The 2 new maps added, Trafalgar and Moss Ironworks. Moss Ironworks is a map that takes place with Denmark and Sweden. The Denmarks and Swedes temporarily cast their differences aside and try to team up to get out of the city. This is a multi-stage holdout and objective map that is really fun to play in. This map features fun but confusing objectives, which I feel like still retains that sort of Guts and Black Powder feeling that we all get, you know what I mean? After you're done with everything and you make it to the finale, you'll encounter an NPC called the Ironworker, and he has very good dialogue that's really long, and also because it's really long, it gives sappers time to prepare their buildings for the finale, where you have to hold out until a raft comes to pick you up, and then you can escape the city.
Vi er snart ferdige her. Vi har tatt det vi kan.
Vi sparte litt jern.
Råvarene har vi ikke bruk for. Du tar kun våpen. Du vil bort herfra? Ja, det vil vi alle. Jeg vet ikke om jeg er i stand til å hjelpe dere.
Kusen där hade kunnat dra en betydligt större mängd utan dig och eldröret.
Hør her. Jeg fører de siste geværene nordover. Der oppe har vi satt opp en flåte, og den lar vi drive ned fossen. Derfra venter et skip som skal ta både geværene og oss til Bergen.
Skal du sende det ned fossefallet?
Vi pleier å fløyte tømmer der, så forhåpentligvis holder flåten seg flytende.
Era dåraktiga norrmän! Varför inte använda hamnen?
Stranda er en dødsfelle. Vi kan ikke laste skipet der. Hør her, jeg må få drassa dette utstyret opp. Så kommer jeg tilbake gudene vet når med den tomme forsyningsvogna vår. Og derfra skal vi komme oss til kysten.
Hva med materialer?
Hjulet har skilt seg for 5. gang denne uka. Vi må rense det. Slipp kulde og jern litt ned i smeltovnen, men gjør det med jevne mellomrom. Støvformene er klare for svingkanoner, så alt du trenger å gjøre er å kjøle dem ned nok til å bære dem. Greit, folkens. Lykke til, da. Kom her.
Well, you heard the man. You then drop some coal and iron into the furnace, wait for it to smelt, and then carry some swivel guns, get on a raft, and then you beat the map. That's pretty much all there is to the map. It's very fun and it has very confusing but fun objectives, which I personally like, but a lot of people may not like, but I personally do. Now for the next map that was added in this update, Trafalgar House. Trafalgar House shares similar gameplay to St. Petersburg, but not exactly. There are different points in this giant mansion that you have to defend, and those points are picked randomly throughout every wave, and just so you know, you have to get to wave 6 to beat the map. Unlike St. Petersburg where you have to get to wave 10, this one you only have to get to wave 6, which I think is fairly balanced for how hard the map is and how confined the mansion can be at most times. At the start of each wave, a certain segment of the mansion is picked randomly for you to defend for that duration of the wave. There is a unique mechanic that Guts and Black Powder added to this map where there's a health bar on the top right of your screen. It shows what the health is of that sector that you are defending. If that gets to 0, then you basically lose that part of the map. Like you lost this part of the map or that part of the map to the zombies. Once you complete the map, a British officer accompanied with a line of British infantrymen will come and greet you, saying that you've done a great job and that you will be rewarded and that they will be able to turn this place into like a safe house or something. And so you beat the map. They say that you're relieved of your post, as they say.
Good morning.
Where are you from?
Bristol. We're here to relieve most of the troops in the area. You've done your country well, and the supplies should allow us to carry on the fight. You are relieved of your post.
Hey, Editing Armenian Games here. I forgot to include this segment. My voice sounds a little different because I'm editing. There's actually another type of Trafalgar House that they added. It's basically just Trafalgar House but endless instead of the holdout mode. So it's kind of like Tyrolean Village but just harder, which is it's just kind of ass in my opinion, but I'll leave that opinion up to you. It's just my opinion. I just forgot to include that in the video, so yeah, have a great day. Editor Armenian Games out. Now, on to some miscellaneous things that they added in the update. We got 2 new faces in the update, that being Madcaps and the Frowned face. We even have regiment customization now, which means for a select few regiments, you can actually change their clothing, which is pretty neat if you ask me. Also, we can now choose skin color. There's also new faces for when you swing your weapon, which is also looks really cool. Cavalry zombies exist now. They're basically just cuirassiers but without the armor, which I think is pretty cool. Unfortunately, they only spawn as British First Lifeguards currently, though more may be added in future updates. We got new debug hit detection for when you shoot your firearms. Better grenade hitboxes. Debug hit detection for the bayonet and the sword bayonet. Better charging hitboxes for the bayonet and sword bayonet. You can now load tar bottles into the hand mortar. New cannon firing and loading animations. new zombie sounds and idle animations. A new consumable for the surgeon, the Flask of Hospitality. I'll put the stats of the weapon on screen so you can read it for yourself. Hey, Editor Armenian Games here again. Well, I also forgot to mention that there are 2 new regiment packs that were added, so yeah, you can go check them out, and they're actually really cool. I didn't unlock them myself, so I don't really have any footage of them, but I'm just here to tell you that 2 new regiment packs were added, and they include a lot of cool regiments, so go check that out. Go support the developers. Okay, bye-bye. The sword bayonet finally got a buff, a long-awaited buff. After being one of the worst unlocks for infantry, it has finally gotten a buff. I won't go too in depth on the buff, but just know that the downswing got 2 penetration and the side swing now has 3 penetration. So that's all you really need to know. Oh, and also when not on the rifle, the headshot multiplier got buffed from 1.65x to 2x, so it's finally also worth using when not on the rifle as well. Okay, I'm gonna do a quick speed run on the voice lines. The Russians and Polish got a revamp in their voice lines, a total revamp, and the Austrians now have generic callouts, so that's all you need to know about the voice lines as well. We also, unfortunately, got a lance nerf. Yup. One of the best melees in the game has gotten a nerf, and I'm gonna list out all the nerfs that it has gotten. Starting out with actually a buff, you won't get slowed down when you walk with the lance. But while getting the weapon ready to attack, it'll actually become slower than how you used to walk with the lance equipped. The slowness will actually also linger while you attack. Yet another nerf that it has gotten was in its penetration. Instead of its penetration being 3 and can be increased to 5, now it is 2 and can be increased to 4, which isn't a noticeable nerf, but it can be very noticeable in a lot of situations. And that's pretty much everything to know about the Moss Ironworks update. It adds a lot more content, and I think it's really fascinating on what they did with the game. Anyways, hit that subscribe button, hit that like button, follow my Twitch channel, and this is Armenian Games signing off. Bye-bye. And as always, peace out.